The scream for no SBMM, they got it. They fled, crawling back to standard like it's a safe word whispered in a sweat lodge. Welcome to Open Warfare Twonk Edition, where devs lie, creators cry, and players prove they never meant a single fucking word they said. Alright, you lot. Pack your excuses, bin your brain cells, pour a stronger. Because we're diving face first into Battlefield of Broken Logic. SBMM were its Season 1, and guess what? Ones who cried loudest about wanting freedom just sprinted back to the matchmaking cage as second training wheels came off. This isn't hypocrisy. This is Twonk history in motion. And today we're naming names, slapping receipts, and dragging old rotten circus into the sun. So big headline? Open versus standard matchmaking is officially structural now. Not hidden, not implied, not rumoured. It's in black and white. Open matchmaking, minimal skill consideration, bit of ping, bit of chaos, real lobbies. Standard mosh pit, full SBMM. Same algorithmic matchmaking we've all been moaning about since Advanced Warfare grew pubes. Now this should be good news, right? Players scream for choice. We don't want to sweat every match. We just want casual lobbies. We just want variety. Well, congrats lads. Playlist gods urge you and delivered two neat little tabs. One for chaos, one for control. One for boots on ground, one for boots up your ass. Two to us. You pick. Red pill, blue pill. Playstyle buffet. Oh, of course. Of course. What did same loud bastards do? They walked through wrong fucking door. Amount of twonks who complained about SBMM for years, then booted up standard mosh pit on day one. It's like asking for ice cream and biting into a tea bag cause you're a masochist with brand loyalty. And let's call out YouTube clowns who spun this as they're removed up in matchmaking. The fuck are you talking about? It's right here. Tab 2. Party games and open playlists. Same chaotic stew of lobbies that were there last week and still there. And they'll still hand you 1v1 against a man with no thumbs, followed by a squad of cracked out CDL rejects with 9 to 5 aim trainers. Only thing they've changed is UI layout. They just put standard mosh pit in featured tab. Why? Because according to them, engagement were higher in standard. Now whether that's true or more of their classic PR fluff, fine, question it. But reaction from players tells story. Ones who claimed they wanted freedom ran right back into cage. You weren't lied to, you just got exposed. We got a litmus test, and results are in. Twonks prefer safety. They don't want challenge, they want control. They want every match to be fair, until that one's getting stomped. Then it's rigged. And here's punchline. Now devs get to turn around and say, look, even when we offered choice, players still pick SBMM. Cause of course they fucking do. And now Activision gets its golden excuse to keep tuning the entire system like a digital cattle prod. You think you won? You didn't win. You handed them your engagement on a platter. You said, thank you, while choking on it. And check this from Ghost Twitter's Nostradamus for Activision's bowel movements. Drops a tweet about standard mosh pit with kinda energy you'd expect from a man who just caught his cat quoting Bobby Kotick. Went into standard mosh pit and talked to a guy about what he thought about Black Ops 7 and if he's excited for MW4 next year, and it were literally this meme. And he follows up with, hates SBMM, but we're playing standard. Hated MW3, but loved MW 2019 and MW2. Wants them to tone down movement, wants them to mimic Battlefield more next year. Mate, that's not a player. That's a walking contradiction wrapped in headshot montage. It's like he's saying, I hate pizza, but I keep ordering Domino's because I love regret. He's confessing to emotional damage. Let's be crystal fucking clear. You're not a critic, you're a twonk with commitment issues. Why the problem? Theatre. These creators, even ones I've got respect for, they play this dance. One week it's SBMM's a crime, next week it's let's all kill standard and roast casuals. They treat open lobbies like a test tube. They get stomped once, and suddenly it's back to safety of fair fates and bot farming. You didn't want freedom, you wanted an option to say, I tried, then still pick thing that flattered your KD. You didn't want to escape SBMM, you wanted to be above it. You wanted chaos turned off for everyone but you. And now receipts are coming in, devs are watching, suits are smiling, because same creators who raised about system bias are proving it were never about system, we're about ego. And ego don't make good lobbies, it makes excuses. So let's torch this illusion factory. For months now, these content goblins, some with massive followings, some just loud as hell, have been turning half-assed lobby experiments into gospel. 10 matches on me main, 10 on me alt, different ping, SBMM confirmed lads, burnt servers. Mate, that's not confirmation, it's astrology with kill streaks. And these are the same creators who now have actual behavioural proof in front of them. Playlist preference, matchmaking choice, wait community flocks when getting option, and they've gone full mute. Don't test ping differences till the keyboard fuses. But moment Playerbase self-selects into SBMM voluntarily, they go radio silent or spin it into some 4D psychological warfare tactic. Oh, people only pick standard cause UI highlighted it. Right, and I only hit fridge cause it were at high level. Fuck off. These creators who built the channels around being victims at system just got shown that they were never trapped. They were choosing it all along. And look, I don't even hate grind. I have respect for some of these lads. They've been at this a long time. They've earned the scars. But somewhere between trying to find truth and selling a narrative, they built a brand on receipt rigging. So now they can't afford to admit maybe its strings aren't as tight as they thought. Because if you admit standard is optional, and people still choose it, your whole house of outrage falls into sea. What we're watching is slow collapse at convenient enemy. When SBMM were hidden, it were villain in walls. Now it's a big bright sign in menu. And when people still walk into that fire, conspiracy cracks apart. So what do creators do? They pivot. They pretend this proves no. They invent new shadows to punch. They act like it's 2022 again and servers are lying to them through smoke signals. You can't be voice of reason when you're allergic to data. You can't cry it's rigged and then ignore clearest user pattern you've seen in years. That's not analysis. That's performance art for emotionally fragile. Your vibes aren't valid. Your gut's not science. Your 12 death streak at 2 AM is not a peer-reviewed study. And your audience deserves better than pretending it is. So time to take off gloves. Let's stop blaming devs, influencers, UI tabs, cosmic wins, and talk about you, player. One sat there with a mouth full of rage and a playlist full of contradictions. You shouted for years, SBMM ruins COD. We just want casual fun. We miss chaos. Activision finally gave you 2 lanes. Open for chaos, standard for algorithmic babysitting. So what do? You run screaming into arms at same system you claim to despise. You kill standard mosh pit like it's a safe word for a bad Tinder date. You didn't just betray your own argument, you duct taped it to a firework and launched it into a retirement home. If you bitch that Open and Standard felt sane, but then fled back to Standard cause Open had too many cracked players, your problem. You're not a victim, you're not a purist, you're just a sweaty coward with a scapegoat. And of course someone pipes up, well maybe I just prefer consistency. Oh, fuck off. You don't want consistency. You want an advantage that feels earned but actually curated. You want fair lobbies where you win. You want unpredictability that you can control. You want freedom with safety nets. You want chaos with rules. You want COD to play like a documentary but end like a fucking hero movie. And here's kicker. People who stayed in Open, took the beatings, gave a few back, dealt with lobby swing, those are real ones. They didn't hide behind SBMM. They embraced madness. They walked into fire they asked for and didn't flinch. But you screamed for chocolate, got chocolate, then cried cause it went from your nan's cupboard. You wanted COD 2009 energy, but you've got Skinner a Fortnite team with a sugar crash. You can't handle one night of mixed skill lobby without panic queuing back into algorithm arms. And now Activision sees that. They knew you'd break. They counted on it. It were a test, and you failed. Spectacularly. You want to prove you actually hate SBMM? Here's your homework. Live in Open for a month. No, just a few games in Standard. No comfort queuing when you get smoked. You asked for chaos, so live in it. Then come back and tell me if you still believe your own tweets. And you know what? This isn't just about Call of Duty. This is everywhere. This is gaming equivalent to Stockholm Syndrome with headset. Because real rot in matchmaking, it's in us. You scream for agency, for transparency, for options. Then piss it all away the moment it don't hand you easy dopamine. You want games to be honest, but you can't handle honesty. You want devs to listen to feedback, but your feedback's an emotional weather report with accuracy or a broken barometer. One patch is storming Reddit with "this is way forward." Next patch you're back in standard crying about sweaty lobbies like it's 2019 and your KD needs a support group. This whole space, commentary, discourse, rage threads, it's not analysis anymore, it's theatre. Community cosplay for people too emotionally fragile to say, maybe I was wrong. We've turned critique into carnival. Every creator's a ringmaster. Every player's a clown with a microphone. And suits? I'm at backroom counting ticket sales from chaos. Activision knew. They saw Outrage Farm and thought, alright, let's split playlist. So both sides a dream and let them sort themselves into metrics. You were all studied, watched and indexed. And when you defaulted to standard, they smiled. Because now they don't need to justify SBMM. You did it for them. And Microsoft, they're not watching forums. They're watching retention curves, engagement loops. What mode keeps you playing? What setting keeps you shopping? They don't care what you say you want. They care what your controller clicks when no one's looking. You think they fear your fury? They feed on it. Boycotts become bullet points. Outrage gets repackaged as a trend. Your protest become proof of concept. Your machine's QA team, unpaid, emotionally broken, and logging tickets with every whine. I used to do that for money. You're doing it for cosmetics. You want to burn this system, you start by calling out rot in your own camp. You want to change this industry? Stop making content out of your own fucking contradictions. Stop turning every inconvenience into a moral crusade, then abandoning your cause second you lose a match. Stop preaching about game integrity when you can't even pick playlist that matches your own damn beliefs. This is a credibility collapse, and we all help build Crater. Like, subscribe and all that bollocks. Drop your comments and questions below. And if you're still queuing standard mosh pit while tweeting about killing SBMM, I hope your controller disconnects mid gunfight and your kill cam gets turned into a TED Talk. And I'll see you next time, you magnificent.